Christoph Fischer is actually an architect, but these days he spends more time pedaling tourists around Berlin in a Velo taxi.
These columns with trees growing out of them are quite remarkable. The way they've been placed around this court of honor is reminiscent of the Baroque style.
Fischer is at ease talking about architectural history. He used to restore buildings professionally. These days, though, he can't find much work in his desired trade, so the income from Velo taxis is quite welcome.
Of course, it's just to get me through this phase. My goal is to get back working as an architect, because that's the only way I can earn enough to get by, really.
This is Velo Taxi Center. Those who want to hire one have to book it in advance. The rental cost is low, but demand is high.
Weekdays it's €8, on weekends 14.
Hendrik Heidkamp is a hospital nurse. He's just one of the many people who see Velo taxi driving as a lucrative sideline.
We've seen it all, even policemen who drive our taxis on the weekend. At the moment, we've got a graphic designer, a cook, a construction foreman, an artist, an architect, a nurse, and a lawyer.
This is where Heidkamp works for most of the week, in the job he trained for.
This is my main job. It's now down to 30 hours a week. One day less a week is fine by me.
Heidkamp has been a nurse for more than 20 years, but the work got too stressful for him. Finding a side job meant that he could cut his hours at the hospital.
The job has become so much more intensive over the years.
So it's better like this?
A lot better.
But not everyone chooses a side job to help them reduce stress. On a lower floor, Susanne Meisner is on her first day at her new part-time job in intensive care. For most of the week, she looks after disabled people.
It's going well, amazingly well. I was a bit anxious because it's a different field to where I normally work. But I'm enjoying myself.
Meisner's taken on what's known in Germany as a mini-job. Although she gets no health insurance or pension contributions, she takes home more than she would get for doing overtime in her main job.
I would lose too much in deductions, and at the end of the day I'd have 300 to 400 euros less on average.
The jobs are provided by an agency a few kilometers away. It offers part-time work for doctors and nurses. Medical personnel are in high demand, especially assistants who have a high degree of flexibility.
We can hardly cope with all the orders we're getting. There were so many requests from customers today that we barely managed to fill them. We need good workers. But if we keep getting people like Ms. Meisner here, who have a main profession and just want a side job, then it works really well.
As for the Velo taxi drivers, there are so many these days that competition for passengers is high. Waiting times are long.
Well, of course, it's unfortunate. All told, I've made about €70 so far.
Christoph Fischer is going to have to deduct the rent for his Velo taxi from that. And so, after 7 hours, his day is not yet done.